How you doing? My name is Andy, and I've decided to begin sharing some insights about the weekly Torah portion. The Torah is the most sacred book of the Kabbalists, and it has the power to guide and transform our lives. For those of you who may not be familiar, the five books of Moses, which represent the first five books of the Old Testament, is known as the Torah in Hebrew. But they're much more than a historical record. They are a profound tool for personal transformation, a roadmap for understanding the energy of the week and how we can harness it for our growth and liberation. Each week, the Torah offers us not just lessons, but opportunities to break free from the chains of our own limitations, to rise above our bondage, in the physical world, and to connect with our true essence, our soul's purpose, and our ability to manifest a life of meaning. And the portion of Bo is an excellent place to begin because it deals with the metaphysics of getting out of bondage. Now, I understand that some of you may be drawn to Kabbalah for different reasons, perhaps seeking a shortcut, a formula, or even some sort of magic to manifest your desires more quickly. There's no judgment here. However, it's important to understand that the true path of Kabbalah is not one of external manipulation, but of deep inner transformation. Over the past 30 years of studying Kabbalah, I've learned that the real power comes from shifting our consciousness from the inside out. This kind of transformation is the quickest, most lasting, most powerful, and safest way to align ourselves with the divine light and divine purpose and connect with our soul's deepest truths. And at the heart of this transformative path is the Zohar right here. It's a 2,000-year-old sacred text that decodes the Bible and reveals the hidden energies of our universe. It's our manual for understanding how to connect with the Creator on a deeper, metaphysical level. It's the manual for Kabbalists and for achieving what we call Kabbalah consciousness. So let's explore what the Zohar says about the Torah and how it's a tool for our transformation. And it's not just some sort of historical manual. Okay? So, one of the most powerful spiritual tools we have is the weekly Torah reading, or Parsha, which takes place every Shabbat. For those who may not know, every Saturday in synagogues around the world, a section of the five books of Moses is read aloud. This reading is not just a ritual, it's a gateway to something deep, deeply transformative. It's an invitation to tap into the divine energy of the universe and infuse our consciousness with real spiritual power. Unfortunately, many people today approach the Torah reading as a mere tradition, a routine. And when the Torah is seen only as a tradition, it loses its transformative power. This is why many people feel empty after attending synagogue and why millions of individuals are leaving, religious traditions behind. They long for something deeper, something more profound that can touch their soul. And by the way, this yearning is not limited to Judaism. In Christianity and other faiths as well, attendance at religious services is in steep decline. The largest group, actually, of people who still believe in God, at least in the United States, identify as spiritual but not religious. But imagine if these people knew what was truly available to them through the Torah readings. They could experience the excitement and spiritual fulfillment that comes from connecting with these teachings. And I'm here to tell you that this is not just a possibility, it is a reality that you can tap into. So actually, for those of you, seeking a quick fix, right, a quick fix solution to unlock your highest potential, actually the Torah reading offers just that. It's the quickest fix because it's an authentic fix. When you approach it with the right consciousness, you can download a powerful energy that will help you manifest your desires, find fulfillment, and ultimately change yourself from the inside out. Think of it like this. If you handed a modern smartphone to someone from the 17th century, they would have no idea how to use it. They could not see the power of the device, its ability to connect to people worldwide, to access the infinite knowledge of the internet. And they wouldn't know how to press the right buttons to unlock its potential. And the same is true with the Torah. Without the right knowledge and understanding, the readings may appear to be just words. But when you approach them with the right consciousness, they become a tool to access the divine energy that will transform your life. So this is the power of the Shabbat Torah reading. It's a connection to divine wisdom that, when understood and applied, has the potential to radically shift your spiritual trajectory. So let's begin with this week's portion, Bo. That's very appropriate, right? This portion is deeply relevant, right, to our journey of personal transformation as it deals with the Israelites' liberation from Egypt, a powerful metaphor for breaking free from our own limitations and the slavery of the ego. Egypt, in this context, represents the prison of the material world, the constraints of the physical body, and the bondage of negative thoughts and emotions. The Torah stories are not just historical, as I said, they're allegories. They're even deeper than allegories. But they're teachings designed to show us the spiritual path. The Zohar holds all the keys to understanding, and by utilizing these teachings, we can utilize them for ourselves. It's impossible to understand what we can actually get from a Torah reading without the guidance of the Zohar. With it, we can uncover the deeper meanings of these stories and infuse our souls with new spiritual knowledge, much like a software download for the soul. When we align ourselves with this wisdom, we become capable of true transformation. So getting a little deeper now into this spiritual technology, I mean, that's what it really is. Let's get deeper into it. It's really tech for soul. So there are two essential components of accessing Kabbalah consciousness. First, we must learn and understand the teachings of the Zohar. It's like receiving the instructions for how to use the phone of the spiritual world and to be able to dial God. Once we grasp this understanding, the next step is to meditate and connect with the Torah reading, particularly during Shabbat, which for Jews begins on Friday at sunset and ends on Saturday at sunset. This meditation, connecting with the Torah reading, downloads a new software for our week that allows us to integrate the teachings into our consciousness and soul. Now, the most powerful way to do this is by actually listening to the Torah reading, which you can do, by the way, in any synagogue around the world. The connection infuses your soul with this new spiritual light and renews your connection to your higher self and aligns you with your soul's true purpose. It's what you've been looking for, and what we will explain in a bit. Are the new parts of consciousness you can receive. So it's always like really exciting to hear a Torah reading. And by the way, if you're unable to attend a synagogue, you can stream the Torah reading online from various sources, including the Kabbalah Center where I study. And don't worry if, subscriptions are, I think, like $50 a month, but if it feels out of reach, there are scholarships available to ensure that this connection is accessible for everyone. So you have no reason not to connect if you want. If you need help connecting, just reach out to Kabbalah.com customer support, okay? But let's move on. So let's get into the Zohar a little bit. Now, having had the privilege of studying Kabbalah for over 30 years, I've been blessed with incredible teachers, most notably Rob Berg and Karen Berg, who were pioneers in opening up these ancient teachings to the world. The Zohar has revealed the secrets of the universe to me, and now I share a few of these profound insights with you. And by understanding what we can get in a Torah reading, we can get it. My teacher always taught, knowing is the connection. We have to know what we will get because we don't just want to hear something for the sake of tradition, right? That will ultimately leave us feeling empty. So the first lesson we learn in Kabbalah is the understanding that everything that happens in the physical world is merely the effect of an unseen cause in the spiritual realm. For example, my hand here, cannot rise without first being prompted by thought. Thought is the initial spark of action in the world. It is what drives all physical movement. The true source of all physical action lies in the non-physical realm. Pretty easy to understand, right? So, how does this relate to this week's portion? Well, as the Zohar explains to us in portion Bo, God tells Moses, come to Pharaoh. The portion starts with what seems to be a grammatical mistake. God should have told Moses, go to Pharaoh, right? And this is the whole story of Moses going to Pharaoh. Moses asks him, let my people go. Most people know the story, right? But God says, come to Pharaoh. not go to Pharaoh. You should have gone to Pharaoh. So when there's a grammatical or something funny like that going on in the portion in the Bible, this is our clue that something else is happening. This isn't about Moses going to the leader of Egypt. Instead, this is a call to enter the higher spiritual realms above the physical level of existence. God is asking us, actually, to come with him to a place where we can solve our problems. And that place is a realm of higher consciousness. Only from this place can we eliminate the chaos of the material world. The deeper lesson here is that we cannot remove chaos on the physical plane alone. We try, right? But we must rise to the metaphysical level to find true freedom. God was telling Moses and telling us as well, you cannot fight Pharaoh, or what he represents, which is chaos in the physical world. You need to come with God to a higher level, to the level of thought, and there you can make a change. So, the key to transformation and redemption lies in the unification of these two realms, the spiritual and the physical realm. And in Kabbalah, we have a representation of that called the Yud Ke Vav Ke, the four letters Yud, He, and Vav He in Hebrew. And it's the name of God that represents the upper and lower levels of reality. So you can also meditate on this Yud Ke Vav Ke anytime to connect. The Zohar teaches us to connect the upper and lower realms. So while and by the way, it's relatively easy to connect to light, right? To a higher level of consciousness, higher levels or higher spiritual realms, right? We can all do that. Sometimes we can go meditate, we can go on a mountaintop, we can take a walk in nature, but the ultimate goal is to bring that light into the mundane physical parts of our lives. So again, practically what that means is that, again, it's easy to be on top of a mountain, be by yourself and feel great. There are many courses on mindfulness and meditation and yoga that help you feel, at peace. But the Zohar teaches that the true redemption will come when we infuse the physical world with spiritual light. This is not about doing more spiritual work in isolation or meditation. It's about elevating every aspect of our physical existence with the energy of the Creator. So, this week's portion, Bo, teaches us that in order to free ourselves from our limitations, we must elevate the mundane and physical aspects of life. As we connect to the light, both in our spiritual practices and in our daily work, we become the instruments of transformation, not only for ourselves, but actually for the world at large. So, a very practical way of doing this is to look at your own bondage, your own limitations, and ask yourself, how can I inject sharing into this situation? How can I make a difference in this situation? Again, though, we have a hack to help us share, and that's by elevating our consciousness. You have to first, right, elevate your consciousness. And the Torah portion will download this week on Saturday a spiritual software that will help us elevate our consciousness. And it's free. Just again, by knowing that this software is available, that we're getting this on Shabbat, we get it. We ready ourselves. But you have to know what you're getting. So listening to the Torah then becomes an integral, necessary, and vital aspect of your spiritual growth, not some tradition like it is for some people. And it's certainly okay if people enjoy this tradition, but we want to get something from it. So all you need to do, again, understanding that we need to elevate our consciousness and we need this download, we can go and listen to a Torah reading. But then we have to use this spiritual software, this download, so to speak, to fight Pharaoh in our own life, to go into the challenges, the chaos, the anxiety, and the anger, and the negative thoughts and situations in our life. How will we elevate and bring the light of God to those situations? Now, as we meditate on this week's portion, I encourage you also to reflect then on your personal bondage. What limitations are you holding on to? What fears or doubts are preventing you from stepping into your true calling? The story of the Israelites' liberation is a reminder that we too can be freed from the chains we place upon ourselves. make a list of your limitations and ask during the Torah reading, while you're listening to it, to empower you with the divine understanding to remove these limitations. But by the way, though, it's a very exciting portion, a very exciting time, because this week is actually a time to break free of all those limitations. We're actually entering the month of Aquarius. It's very, very exciting. So it's a time to release the fears that are holding us back, to trust in the Creator, and to take the first step towards living the life we are truly meant to live. Like a bird freed from its cage. That's the energy we're getting. We're getting the energy to soar this week. That's very, very powerful. So again, take time this week then to write down your dreams and aspirations. Reflect on what is holding you back and ask the Creator for the courage to rise above these limitations. And the beautiful thing is that by listening to the Torah portion, you infuse yourself. You download a software for your soul with all the power of the Creator, what we Kabbalists call light, to help you manifest your highest self and step into your divine purpose. So thank you. I hope this helps you see what Kabbalah consciousness is, and helps you begin studying Kabbalah in a very profound way. Thank you.